we're learning the House committee investigating the Capitol insurrection has just announced a surprise public hearing for tomorrow. Now, the panel was initially expected not to hold another of these sessions until next month. Let's get you right out to Newsy congressional correspondent Nate Reed, who's standing by live on Capitol Hill. He has details on this. So, Nate, we had it all marked down on our calendar that we were expecting more hearings to happen in July. So why is the committee announcing a hearing for tomorrow?
Well, Veronica, while the House and Senate are out for the next 2 weeks, this week is technically a committee work week in the House of Representatives, so it's not unusual to have certain hearings happen over on the House side. But at the same time, the fact that we're learning about this hearing just, a day, a little bit over a day, we're under 24 hours now from before this hearing is expected to take place. Usually, hearings are notified about a week out that they're planning on happening. So this is certainly a surprise. The committee was pretty terse in its announcement about this hearing. It said only they want to present recently obtained evidence and receive witness testimony, which can clue us into the fact that we're probably going to see some of those pre-recorded segments, as well as some of that live witness testimony that this committee has come to become known for. At the same time, we have no clue on who those guests are, who they're going to talk about. We know that they've recently had an influx of information. They've been hinting at that in some of their most recent hearings. But Veronica, like you said, I think we'd all kind of taken a step back and expected that we wouldn't be hearing from the committee again or seeing another hearing until at least, mid-July or so. But certainly this is a surprise that they've added another June hearing, especially one where the vast majority of the members of the House of Representatives and the Senate are away in their home districts.
Nate, I want to circle back to something that you had just said moments ago, because you were talking about more evidence in this case. What do we know at this point about evidence or more witness testimony that the committee has been able to obtain?
Well, in the last couple of weeks, we know that Alex Holder, this British documentary filmmaker, unearthed that the fact that he had all of these interviews with President Trump and his family members taken both before and after January 6th. That's reportedly around 11 hours of footage that they have with the former president and his family members and members of his administration. Apparently, this footage was kept very close to the vest, and so when the committee learned about it, many people, I think, in President Trump's orbit had reportedly learned about it for the first time via the committee. And so what we knew was the committee was ostensibly going over some of this footage, preparing to figure out what they had and what they could present. I don't know whether they found something on the footage they feel the American public needs to see as soon as possible, but certainly we expected them to continue to go through this reportedly 11 hours of footage and present their findings later this month. But them taking this step and announcing this hearing tomorrow clearly means that they have something they want to show us.
Really interesting. What has been unclear, though, Nate, is how many more hearings we can expect. Do we know anything about a timeline at this point about the committee's work and where things go from here?
Well, look, I think this committee, because it is a Democratic majority committee, and the Republican members of this committee, Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney, were both appointed by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. This committee doesn't have legs if Republicans win the House of Representatives in the 2022 midterm election. So what's likely is this committee could wrap up if the Democrats lose the House by around the end of the year or so. So certainly this committee is rushing to get its information out there. They said they still want to put out a public report, release a lot of their files and testimony that they've conducted over the course of this hearing. Remember, they've conducted around 1,000 interviews or so with witnesses or people related to the January 6th attack. So they have a lot of information and details. Clearly, something has come up that they want to get this out to the American public, and they've taken this unusual step of announcing a surprise hearing just 24 hours or so before it's set to take place. And of course, we will have live reports from that hearing once it happens tomorrow.
All right, we're getting that on the calendar then, Nate. So we have another public hearing tomorrow with the January 6th committee. Do we have any idea at this point what time it's going to take place?
It'll be 1 p.m. Eastern, a similar time that they've been hosting these hearings in the past. And so it'll probably be a similar structure, similar length to the hearings that we've seen already, given that they've already held, I think, 4 of these 1 p.m. hearings, which last around 2.5 hours or so during the daytime. So it's not going to be one of those primetime hearings. It is going to be a 1 p.m. Eastern hearing taking place here on Capitol Hill.
All right, I've got that written down, 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Nate, thank you so much. Newsy congressional correspondent Nathaniel Reed reporting for us live from Capitol Hill.